video is brought to you by Letsynthesize Academy, the #1 place for practice-oriented courses for serious music producers.
Yo, Dan Larson here. Today I want to teach you how to make very nice ambient style pads in Serum. Now this can be suitable for neuro too, because neuro can be very atmospheric. So stay tuned. This is the sound that I want to show you today. Okay, so let's start with the theory. It is going to be very simple, but we need to get through this first. So obviously first you need a waveform, and I prefer having an FME kind of waveform with lots of top end, okay? So you can achieve that by, for example, using the FM from B, FM from A, or anything like that, to create a sound that is rich in top end. In this case, I use the sync 1/2, and basically that does the same. It creates a very screechy and high-pitched kind of sound. And at this point you can use anything. For example, I prefer using FM8 for that, but because most of you guys have Serum and not FM8, I suggest you to use the digital folder in the factory library, and that is the starting point. Okay, so without everything here, obviously with the effects, so let me turn them off. So this is without the effects. This just sucks. This does not sound ambient at all. And that is because we need to push this sound to a more organic direction. And activating the noise oscillator can be very handy for this purpose. Now obviously you don't hear too much difference, and that is why I added a low pass filter that filters only oscillator A and B and let the noise fill the top end instead. So as you can hear, we still have those metallic FME kind of sound from oscillator A and B, but basically the noise took the lead. Okay, so with the effects we need to step it further, adding voices, some distortion and compression to bring everything together. So with the hyper and the distortion, I made that. It's a whole lot better. And with the equalizer, we need to add some color, some flavor, okay? So as you can see here, with the modulations, I added 2 peaks, well, 1 peak and 1 notch, to form the sound a little further. And this is important because most of the old ambient sounds use lots of vocal filters, and that is basically the same. It creates lots of peaks and lots of notches in the spectrum that makes a very unique sound. Now with the filter, I pushed this forward and I added another peak and another notch. So as you can see here, this is the same. It makes some very nice fat sound shape. Now with the compressor, obviously we compress everything together, and this is an important part here. It brings out the noise a lot better and a lot harder. And then I added a chorus and the reverb that is very important for ambient pads. I mean the reverb. The chorus is to add more voices and make it more organic. If it is too much, just pull back the size and the decay. And I used an LFO to evolve the sound, so by moving the B warping mode, which is in sync 1+2, and the filter cutoff in the FX section, this one. So this creates some little variation in the spectrum, so the sound will not be static, but evolving, and that is important again. And to create variations, all you only need to do is change the wavetables, change the noise oscillator, change the warping modes, and use some different filters and different equalizer, and that is basically you can create endless amounts of sounds. Now one more thing, most of you guys use huge reverb on pads, and that is important, but I don't suggest you to rely heavily on that, because the purpose of the reverb should be only to add a tiny bit of ambient sound to it, you know, like a huge room or something like that. Because if you overdo it, it won't be suitable for neuro, because in neuro we need more FM to create the sound instead of reverb, so we don't want to go too atmospheric for that. Let's just leave it for ambient, okay? So I hope you learned a lot today. If you want, you can download this preset from Patreon, and don't forget to subscribe. Peace!